Hi, this is part 2 of how I made my how I'm making my homemade smash book. Sorry, lost my brain thought there for a minute. We're going to start off with making the spine. I have a piece of Tyvek that is 4.5 inches by 10.5 inches, and then my spine, which is 1 1/8 inch by 10.5 inches. I've already prepped my pages with my my tape. There I go again. And I'm just going to put this, eyeball this into the center of the center of the Tyvek. This is the back of the spine, or this is the spine itself. Okay, now I'm going to take my front and my back, it doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to place it right here next to my spine. And what I do is I take a piece of the chipboard that I'm using, and I just took a scrap piece, and I double it. I lay it down. This will give me my spacing for when the book folds, I can have a perfect length. And then the way I do it, I add 2 pieces of the strong adhesive on my Tyvek and 1 piece on my board. So when it lines up, I usually have a good covering of the tape so that it'll adhere really tight. Okay, now I'm just going to lay my spacer in between, right up against the my spine, and then I'm going to put my covering, front or back, it doesn't matter, and press it up against the scrap piece and make for sure it's lined up with my spine, and then just press it down. I'll move that part out. Now that gives me the double width of the space right in here gives me the double width of my chipboard, so when my book folds, it has enough room. It has enough room to fold without it being too tight. We're going to do the same thing with the opposite side. Okay, and that's the spine of my book. Now I'm just going to make for sure it's down real good. And you can see how my book opens and closes. And just like my other book, I made my back a little bit longer, so if I decide that I want to put a pencil holder here, there's room for it to be right over at the edge and not interfere with the pages. Now after this, we're going to take and because this is the right length, I'm going to take a piece of cardstock and I'm just going to cover the inside. And that way, if you look down inside of my book, you won't see this. I don't need the heavy tape for this. I'll just use my ATG gun. And I'm just going to place this right on top of there. I cut it the same size, the 1/8 by 1 1/8 by the 10. And now that'll just cover. If you happen to look down inside, you won't see my my chipboard. Now I'm going to take my front and my back cover. Okay, this is the smaller, so this is going to be my front, And I'm just going to tape this down to my front, making for sure I have an overlap on all 3 sides. And make for sure I have an even spacing at the top and the bottom, and just press it down. I'm going to do the same thing with the back. Now I have my center piece that's going to be my spine, and then it's going to lap over on both sides. So I have my piece for my spine here. Sometimes this is harder to see. I'm just going to draw on here where my spine is. This is going to be covered, so nobody's going to see it. So this is what I want the center of this to go against the center of that one. I already have my adhesive on here. I use a lot of adhesive because I don't want it to move. This is a part of the book that's going to be moving a lot. The opening, you know, when you're opening and closing your book. And I don't want any of it to move anywhere. The more it moves, the more it has a chance to tear. Now, I just get about my center. It's right there. And the center of this is right there. So I'm just going to come up the center. And lay that down. Now make for sure that sticks real good. Okay. Now I have tape around all of my edges and tape on here. I tape the edge of here so when it folds over, it catches this one for the empty place right here, and then the top catches it to hold it all down. But first I'm going to trim up my corners a little bit. Let's bend our book a little bit too. Don't go too fast, go nice and slow with your bending of your book. Okay. The Tyvek gives it strength in there. Now let's add a piece of tape to the edge. Okay, and then I like to miter my corners. Okay, now let's take the tape off. This tape I'm just going to fold back. Okay, we're going to start with my short end, my long ends, and just train the paper to come up. Don't go all the way down with it. You don't want your paper to tear. Just keep rocking it up against there. You can do it like this. I just feel it's okay when I do it like this. Just go slowly till you get it nice. Then just push it down. I like to kind of start with the center and then work out both sides. Okay, now flip it over and do the other side the same way. Okay, now to do the bottom, to make it a nice mitered edge, you're going to take your bone folder or whatever you have, pull in or tuck that little edge in on both sides. And then you're going to do just like we did the other end and bring it down. And that gives you a nice miter right there on the edge. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, now we have our spine here. We're going to just remove our pieces now. They're out of the way. And we're going to take our book insert. And as you can see, I already taped down 3 sides, not the side up against that little extra fold we made, and then in the middle. I did that on front and back. Okay, we've got to make for sure we know which side is the front and which side is the back. Okay, this is my front, the little shorter edge. And take all your tape. Now, we're going to take where it has this little, where you had it folded, we're going to put that fold right in the spacing here. And remember, we have a tape right on this side too, so that's going to catch it. Center it. You're going to center this top and bottom, leave the even amount of spacing, put that little folded edge right into that little spacing. If you want to lift it up to make for sure it's in there. And then, sticking to my fingers, make sure it's in that spacing, top and bottom are even. And what I like to do is take my bone folder and make for sure it's pushed down into that little fold. It hasn't slipped out. Once I know it's in there, then just lay the rest of it down. And make sure it's stuck real tight. We don't want to put any tape in this area here like you would usually do. We're not going to do this because this isn't going to stick down in that area. We only want the edges to be stuck. Right there, right down in that fold. And I have the extra Tyvek in that folded area to give us a little bit of extra security while we make for sure it's down in there good. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the back. There we go. And I'm going to decorate this a little bit different with the, I want to put a piece of ribbon on there that says for the graduate. It says, "Congratulations, graduate." And I want to put that right on the line there. And what I did was already put my tape on it, my strong adhesive tape on it. And I'm just going to put that on there like that. And fold it in. And I'm doing this before I put my cover, my inside facing on. This is my inside facing. I'll trim it up a little bit more. Let's see. Nope, that'll fit. And there's the inside facing on there. And that is my smash book for the graduation pictures with the all the paper. And I'm going to do the same thing with applying this on the inside of this one. And there are all my pages. And there we have it. Our smash book is complete. You have your front, your back, and your spine. Open your pages. You can put a pocket or just decorate this up with more pictures. And we have all of our pages. And the last page is with the pockets. And there you have it. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Bye.